Hi friends, this is Anirban De. I am a HR professional. Today I will discuss about Code on Wages 2019. Okay, it's a very vast area. So I will discuss about some few points which are most important for this code. Okay. So first of all, this code is applicable to whole of India. Okay. Now as per this code, the definition of employee has been changed. Now what is this? Employee means any person other than an apprentice engaged under the Apprentice Act 1961, employed on wages by an establishment to do any skilled, semi-skilled or unskilled, manual, operational, supervisory, managerial, administrative, technical or clerical work for hire or reward. Whether the terms of employment be express or implied, and also includes a person declared to be an employee by the appropriate government but doesn't include any member of the armed forces of the union. Okay, so this is the definition of employee as per Code on Wages 2019. Now everyone is coming under the definition of employee, whether skilled, manual, operational, supervisory, manager, all are coming under employee. So in other terms, earlier workers are only eligible for overtime pay, but as per this definition, if all are coming under employee, coming under the definition of employee, then managers are also eligible for overtime. Okay, as per this definition. Another changes has been also taken place here in case of employer definition. Earlier there is a difference between principal employer and contractor, but as per Code on Wages, contractor also given same right as principal employer. Means in case of any payment, if contractor is fails to pay, then first of all, as now contractors has also the same right like principal employer, so government will take first contractor then principal employer. But here also written that if contractor is failed to make any payment to the contract laborers, then principal employer should take responsibility and make the payment. Okay. So contractor is now has the equal right like principal employer. So this definition has also been changed as per Code on Wages 2019. Wages. What is the definition of wages as per Code on Wages? Wages means all remuneration, whether by way of salaries, allowances or otherwise expressed in terms of money or capable of being so expressed, which would, if the terms of employment expressed or implied or are fulfilled, be payable to a person employed in respect of his employment or of work done in such employment, and includes, this is most important, first of all is basic pay, dearness allowance and retaining allowance. Okay, this must be included in wages definition: basic pay, dearness allowance, retaining allowance. Now what are excluded? Bonus, house accommodation, contribution towards PF or pension, conveyance, special expenses, house rent allowance, remuneration payable under any award or settlement, overtime, commission, gratuity, retrenchment compensation, ex gratia, termination payment, all are excluded from the definition of wages. Okay. As per Code on Wages, you have to make 50% of wages under basic, dearness and retaining allowance. 50% of total CTC. Suppose the CTC is 100, then 50 rupees should be under basic, DA and retaining allowance. And if it is not maintained and you are given some amount in other expenses, then automatically that amount will be included under basic, DA and retaining allowance. So this is most important. 50% of your total CTC is treated as basic DA and retaining allowance. And once your basic DA will be increased, it will directly affect PF, gratuity, bonus. Now, in case of gratuity, amount will be higher. In case of bonus, amount will be higher. It will also affect PL, because few companies are making PL payment, means privilege leave payment, earned leave payment, on the basis of basic, and few companies are doing it on the basis of gross salary. So if it is on the basis of gross salary, then there is no effect. But if it is in the basis of basic salary, so here there will be some changes. Okay, but there is a cap here in case of PF. Though your basic DA is 50% of your total CTC, but still you can make payment of PF. There is a on 15,000. Okay, means 1800 you can make payment against PF. You can make payment EPS on 15,000, that is 1250 maximum. So this amount you can do, whether your basic is more than 50% or 50%, but still your PF payment you can make up to 1800, and pension is 1250. That is still same. Okay. Code on wages is a very vast area, so we need to discuss several times, because the final draft rule will again come. Okay, so earlier there is one thing I need to discuss once again, in case of minimum wages. Earlier what happens, whenever there is a notification for minimum wages, then you can split minimum wages as basic, DA, or in some other states is VDA, variable DA, and special allowance or other allowances. Okay, but now when there is a notification of minimum wages, you should include only basic plus DA and retaining allowance under minimum wages. Okay. No employer shall pay to any employee wages less than the minimum rate of wages notified by the appropriate government. Okay, so this is most important. There is a changes over here. Earlier you can split basic wages and all this thing, but now you cannot split. Okay. Where an employee has been removed or dismissed from service, or retrenched, or has resigned from service, or became unemployed due to closure of the establishment, the wages payable to him shall be paid within 2 working days of his removal, dismissal, retrenchment, or as the case may be, his resignation. There is some confusion with this definition. Few people think that full and final settlement should be executed within 2 working days, but it is not like that. Here it is written wages payable to him shall be paid within 2 working days. Means suppose one person has been resigned, then if he has some dues in case of salary or wages, that should be paid within 2 working days only. It's not related to full and final settlement, because in full and final settlement there is some leaves are there. In full and final settlement, suppose handover takeover process is there, so that is different. You may take time, but if he has some pending dues, like suppose he is going for travel expense, and made some expenses, then this kind of expenses or wages, pending wages, that should be made within 2 working days. But it is not at all related to full and final settlement. Please head on this. Okay, it's not at all related to full and final settlement. It's related to only the pending wages which that should be paid within 2 working days only. Okay. Here it is written clearly, the wages payable to him shall be paid within 2 working days of his removal, dismissal, retrenchment, or as the case may be his resignation. It is not written कि it's full and final settlement. So don't create confusion. Okay, now in case of fine, the total amount of deductions, in case of deductions, the total amount of deductions which may be made under section 2 of any wages period from the wages of an employee shall not exceed 50% of such wages. Earlier also, you never make any deduction 50% of the wages of an employee. Okay, here is the same also as per code on wages, ki shall not exceed 50% of wages any deduction. No fine shall be imposed on an employee who is under the age of 15 years. Okay, so this is also most important. Now in case of bonus, there shall be paid to every employee drawing wages not exceeding such amount per man sum as determined by notification by the appropriate government by his employer who has put in at least 30 days work in an accounting year, an annual minimum bonus calculated at the rate of 8.33%. Okay, means earlier also the same, कि someone should work for 30 days minimum in an accounting year, then he is eligible for bonus. So here also the same. Minimum bonus is what? 8.33%. Maximum bonus is what? It's 20%. And now someone is getting 21,000 gross salary, then he is coming under statutory bonus. Otherwise, he will get ex gratia or something else from his employer. And if contractor is failed to pay bonus, then principal employer should pay. Okay, this is most important as per code on wages. If contractor is failed to pay, then principal employer should make payment bonus to the contractor. Principal employer cannot ignore the same. Now disqualification of bonus. Okay, an employee is disqualified for bonus if he is coming under fraud, riotous or violent behavior while on the premises of the establishment, theft, misappropriation or sabotage of any property of the establishment, or conviction of sexual harassment. Okay, it was not included in earlier definition for disqualification of bonus, but as per code on wages, it has been included ki conviction for sexual harassment, then he is disqualified for bonus. Okay, so this is the disqualification for bonus. Okay, now deduction of certain amounts from bonus also. Where in any accounting year an employee is found guilty of misconducting causing financial loss to the employer, then it shall be lawful for the employer to deduct the amount of loss from the amount of bonus payable by him to the employee under this code in respect of that accounting year only. Like gratuity. Forfeiture, what forfeiture of gratuity says? Ki if there is a loss, financial loss, then you can recover that amount from the employee from his gratuity. So there is a concept of forfeiture of gratuity. So as per code on wages, you can take some amount from his bonus also if there is some loss due to that particular employee. So you can